Look outside is a scary game. From the violent monstrosities that want you dead to seeing the mental and physical degradation of a father begging to hold his already deceased daughter to this fucking thing. There are a lot of moments that will make you step away from your computer and get your ass right to church, but one thing in particular is far more terrifying than the others. The shadow can appear at random locations in the apartment building. He seems like a welcome change of pace compared to the abominations that attack you on sight, but it's undeniably creepy in its demeanor and appearance. The silent, cloaked figure with a serial killer mask and crimson eyes doesn't exactly scream friend, but that's exactly what it is. It so much as tells you so. On its first encounter, it respects Sam's apprehensive command and moves around its mask in a quizzical way when greeted. It even turns its mask down sadly if told it looks like that one Minecraft YouTuber nobody likes anymore. It's capable of understanding language, so there's that, I suppose. You give it a Snickers and it goes on its way, politely facing you while silently drifting backwards until it's out of sight. I don't know if I'm just deranged, but when I first met the shadow I unironically found it pretty cute. In your next encounter it wobbles its mask around and gives you an up-down. It can't help it, it's just so excited to see you. Those probably weren't teeth beneath the mask, I'm sure. And by the third encounter with the mask, it likes you so much it brings you a little gift. It's a tongue. I mean, it would be rude not to accept. Who knows how much that cost in today's economy? Oh, and look, it's just delighted you accepted. In the fourth encounter, it appears by your door. A little invasive, but these are trying times. Maybe it just wanted to check in with its bestie. It makes a low gurgle and glides away into the dark, but not without leaving you a gift on the floor. Wow, a rose. How thoughtful. The fifth encounter is well, I'll just let it play out. The creature is standing over your bed. What is it doing in your room? It opens its robe, seemingly beckoning. Does it want to get closer to you? The dark cloak seems somehow enticing. You don't know how, why, but you know that it is warm, safe. Maybe you should walk inside? Walk inside. Walk inside. Walk inside. Should come You have been pulled into the darkness. There is nothing here except you and it. Hundreds, thousands of fingers push and prod at you. The touch doesn't feel hateful, violent. They're delicate, loving. They effortlessly dig into your skin like you're a lump of dough. You feel a hand reach deep into your brain. Another pulls your lungs out of your chest. Your arms and legs feel impossibly long. The countless hands work with great delicacy and precision. You feel no pain at all. You are simply unwound, like it's the most natural thing. You see nothing but a slowly fading mask, and then you see nothing. When the pain finally comes all at once. And it never ends. A little rude, ain't it? Well, it's either that or you can refuse and teach it some boundaries, and it becomes a certified passive income farm in your house. And that was the end of the Shadow's story in my first playthrough. The last encounter raised more questions than ever without answering any. Well, to find answers we need to go deeper. Literally, down in that hole over there. The truth lies in the mask ending, a hidden ending that requires multiple convoluted steps and defeating multiple super bosses. The regular ending of Look Outside involves gathering some offerings for the astronomers to commune with the visitor. And in the mask ending you have to do the same thing, kinda. You have to find the strange offerings, creepy objects that are in the same format as the regular offerings but are found in very hidden areas and are often guarded by some less than agreeable fellas. The first one can be found down in that hole I mentioned, and in order to access it you must offer that rose you obtained earlier to a polite gigantic caterpillar guy named Kieran, so he can give it to his boyfriend. Fun fact, Kieran is also the thing we can see is wrapped around the building on the rooftop. Anyway, after your bribe he dips and you can explore the cavern to its end, where you'll find the strange painting.
In front of it, however, is my buddy Mitch. I'm sure you can convince him to stand aside though, he's very polite. The next offering is in a metro station that you can access by playing the elevator game. You know the one we all played in our childhood. Search the trash like the hobo you are and you'll find the ticket. The rest of the way is pretty easy. You'll find a strange tape soon enough. And this time it isn't guarded by Satan. Do be careful with the flash hallway though. The strange photograph is in your landlord's apartment. Just bomb this random wall and kill the shade guarding it. You'll also find a video game on your way as a little bonus. The last one is a little tricky though. You have to find an unlabeled cartridge, go to the flash version of your apartment and plug it in your PlayStation 3 to get transported to the average Bethesda game on release. This fucking game makes me say sentences that have never been uttered before. Anyway, kill the worm and the strange manuscript is yours. Now that you have all the offerings, give them to your over-trusting friends and head over to the rooftop. Usually when you give a wrong offering, the astronomers just mutate and judge you, but after giving them the strange offerings, they start throwing hands. Be careful, they are pretty fucking difficult and you have to kill all 4 back to back. Also, having Esther in your party makes this whole section a little extra awkward. Buddy! Of course that's the visitor in that photo. Esther. Open that envelope, bud. Anyway, after sliming out all of them, you head to the ritual circle and find a familiar face waiting for you. But this time, your old friend seems a little less willing to respect boundaries, and he forcefully pulls you into its robes to give you a big ol' hug. Thus ensues the hardest boss fight in the game. Except pedophile Kirby, of course. But if you have Esther in your party, he joins you even after you scam him and beat him and slime all of his friends. Esther's my goat. But the fight only gets harder when the shadow pulls out Zawarda and splits your head open down to your chin. He also rips out your tongue. Damn. After you somehow defeated, the shadow hugs you mournfully. With long, thin arms, it places its mask on your bifurcated head. It's cold as death. And afterwards... well, I'll just let it play out again.
You feel numb and cold. You stagger back inside. The mask feels heavy on your face. You feel weak, weird, just want to go home. Oh, you are back home. Did you walk back? You forget. People seem to ignore you. A little rude. You go to your bathroom and look at yourself with that mask on. It feels so cold. It reminds you of something. When you were 8, back at school, you once told your teacher something incomprehensible. You were taking your lunch and you told her the mask is very cold. Everyone in class laughed. Even now, you are telling her again. Or is this the first time? And sure enough, they all laugh. Take one half of your sandwich back with you. You remember your mom cutting these into triangles. She's cutting them into triangles now, but you already have a piece. It's the same piece she's cutting now. You tell her not to bother cutting it because she's done it already. This time the words catch in your throat. You just hover there behind her, your now countless arms hanging limply. She turns and screams, so you disappear. You must have startled her. Maybe you need to hide so you don't scare people as much. Look for some kind of blanket. You remember that big black blanket you had as a teen that disappeared one day? It was very comfortable. You wonder what happened to it. Oh, there it is. How fortunate. You suppose you never really lost this, you just borrowed it from yourself. A terrible headache is coming on. You wish you could apologize to your roommate. You remember accusing him of taking it. Ah, there he is, talking with you about a hockey game. You scared the both of them. It looks like the blanket isn't quite doing the job. You decide you should follow yourself around for a bit. Maybe you could warn yourself not to go to the roof. You start following him around. You see him everywhere. Here he is a child. There he is at school. Now he's in the womb. Now he has a job. Now he's creeping around the apartment building, armed. You approach him quietly, trying not to startle him. You struggle to make out his face.
Hello?
Oh, that's a nice surprise. He didn't scream or yelp. You try to say hello back, but nothing comes out.
You seem okay.
You are pleased this is going so well. You decide to give him a little time to process this before you speak to him again. So you shift to the following day. You wish you could speak, tell people not to be afraid. But your tongue is useless now. It's not even attached to anything. It's just loose, floating around in the void with all of your other obsolete organs. He notices you and approaches.
Are you a friend?
You nod. Yes, I'm definitely a friend.
Do you need help?
Do you? Maybe you do need help. You are so overwhelmed. You don't know how he could help you, but let's see what happens. He asks if you want any food. You do have half a sandwich, but that isn't much. Sam really is awfully kind. The following day you give him a little scare by getting too close, so you decide to give him more space. You give him your tongue. You don't really have a use for it anymore, and maybe you could use a spare.
Thank you.
You beam with pride that he so graciously accepted your gift. Oh, how thoughtful. As a gift as well. Gives you a gift box with a ribbon. How exciting. Takes you back to Christmas time. Should you open it or should you leave it closed? You spend 100 years in the void coming up with a better gift to give to Sam. Something to communicate how you feel. You get something the following day. You come to realize that he is what you are missing. You need him. You need each other. You are incomplete halves of something that could be eternal. The only gift that makes sense is a rose. You know what you need to do. You approach Sam. He is sleeping. It doesn't take much to wake him. You don't even move, just look. Feels it. There is nothing to worry about. He just needs to step inside. Give you what you are both missing. Close the loop in on itself. Become infinite. He seems like he's about to say something, but he doesn't. He crawls inside. Perhaps he understands. You take a hold of him in every way that you can. You can never let go. He's your light. He keeps you sane. And you will both live forever here. You annihilate him in the most loving way possible. Your memory, your experience of this moment is an infinite feedback loop. Your body is no longer bound by time or space. Your mind expands into a universe. You have become a god. When the pain finally comes, it comes all at once. And it never ends.
Something like this happened to my Uncle Spiridon once, but he got better. Alright, so I don't usually fuck with time travel shenanigans, but when it results in a horrific fate worse than death, he gets a pass. I have a master's in fates worse than death, but before I explain what the mask ending entails, we have to talk about the Spooder. He's a recruitable character that requires a bit of setup to obtain. Underneath the main staircase, there's a closed door that's out of sight and disappears after being interacted with unless the 5 large shades found on each respective floor of the building are defeated. These are exceedingly difficult enemies that I had my first run-in with after exploring the building for about an hour of real life time, and then I decided to trade some worm eggs, but I got ambushed by the floor 1 large shade that paralyzed my character and proceeded to wipe its ass with my entire party along with 1 hour of my actual life. Anyway, to find these shades you have to be at the highest danger level, which can be obtained more easily by consuming black ooze, which is reliably obtained by killing large shades. Careful though, side effects do include instant death. After somehow killing all 5, you can go open that door, unless you already interacted with it earlier in that save file, which would have made it disappear forever and requiring you to kill all 5 again on another save, but only a moron would do such a stupid fucking thing. Anyway, going through that doorway leads you to a somewhat unnerving area that the spider resides in. Careful not to wake up his roommate, he's groggy at this hour. And you really shouldn't waste any items, you'll need them soon enough, considering another requirement for the spider's recruiting is defeating him in a 1v1. When you first interact with the spider, you'll be quick to notice he's kind of a dick. I would have loved to read some of his dialogue myself, but this Dark Souls NPC wannabe speaks in archaic Shakespearean bullshit while I can barely speak normal English like a caveman. He claims that him and Sam are like brothers, both being children of the Visitor, knit together by a darkness that runs thicker than blood ever could, and that Sam is destined to become a wicked monstrosity that will inflict unspeakable amounts of suffering to itself and to countless others. He claims to know fate like an open book, which he can back up by predicting the future. With that information we can deduce that he's similar to the Shadow in nature, a being spread thin through the flow of time, but unlike Sam, he kept enough of his sanity to devise a plan to stop the Shadow from accidentally corrupting the universe. Note that his plan isn't to prevent Sam from fusing with the Shadow, but merely to stop the newborn god of agony from spreading its corruption, as made evident when he said that Sam's fate of eternal agony is unavoidable and all the spider can do is spare the rest of existence from that suffering. I'm still kind of uncertain what the spider really is. Is he Sam from a different universe? Is he just from the future? Or maybe he's the quote-unquote shadow of someone else that didn't succumb to the temptation of being whole again. Or maybe he's just a fun little lore expo that also ties look outside into Frankie's next game. Whatever he is, he gives us some insight into what the world looks like after the mask ending. The strange offerings required to achieve it represent the multiple points in a human lifespan. Granting them to the visitor causes it to unravel Sam through time, bringing forth the Shadow, a being unable of understanding its own nature and powerless at stopping its counterpart from being broken by the visitor. The final fight on the rooftop was more akin to a desperate stalling of the inevitable. The bifurcation of Sam's head was probably the visitor's gaze taking effect, and the reason it wasn't instant was the Shadow desperately attempting to manipulate time into a stalemate to no avail. The merge was inevitable. In the Unity ending we learned that humans were born of the visitor, its power buried deep inside each one. When that same power of change through observation is brought in on itself, what do we have? Introspection. And the singularity born from the paradoxical folding of a mind into itself infinitely gave birth to a new god. A god that knew nothing but pain that never ends, its thoughts reshaped into only the most fundamental components, giving outwards what it has inwards, sharing its excruciating state of being. All were given endless time and all were given endless pain.
The whole world must partake my dollar, the anguish of a corpse that knoweth no end. Take upon thee the burden of my grief, the foreordained path of my cursed fate. Thou canst not escape the malice of the abyss. Embrace it and be made whole in the darkness.
Well, that's about it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have very big plans coming soon. Thank you for watching and see you next time, creatures.